Good afternoon, or good morning, some of you guys, and welcome to another episode of Smash Writing. I'm your host for today, Paul. So, yesterday was the series finale of WandaVision. WandaVision, and this is the overall season review, and we're going to talk about episode 9. So please, if you have not seen the episode 9 yet, don't watch this video. As a fan of not being, I don't want to spoil it for people, so I'm not going to sit here and say go and watch this video and ruin episode 9 for you. Okay, now that you're all the ones that have watched season 9, let's talk about the series. This series was something new. This series was unique for Marvel fans. You got when they ended the previous phases, phase 3, you knew they couldn't do the same thing over and over again. We are now evolving. They now have more characters. At the top of my head, I think they have pretty much all of their characters back now, and they can do what they want with them. Now that we know that everybody's back, you're almost certain that eventually you're going to see these characters in some shape or form. So they got to mix up the storylines, make it fresh for you, and everything like that. But this show was first of its kind. We saw with Doctor Strange that they were going to introduce the more of the magic side of things. You know, phase 1 was more science. Then it's just it evolved to magic. We didn't know how WandaVision was going to turn out. We didn't really think, so many questions. How is Vision alive? How is he real? Is he fake? Why can't he remember certain things? Who's the villain? And that was another thing. So the first couple episodes were slow. Literally just fun little sitcom things to paying homage to some of the great sitcoms through the last 40, 50 plus years. Was a good touch on Marvel's part to do it that way. Made things a little bit more fun. We knew with the rumors with Spider-Man casting and Doctor Strange 2, the name of that, Into the Multiverse, that things were going to get a little crazy. You didn't know what was real, what was not. So we were so new in this. And then the show was able to break you down piece by piece of giving you something to go along with. And, okay, stay hooked on this episode. As we were getting closer to episode 9, I think episode 7 and 8 and 9, broke Disney Plus. So the buildup was there, and that was very impressive. Now, over the last 12 plus hours, I did scroll the internet and see what the fans are saying. The fans are saying, this was kind of a letdown. Well, was it? Was it really? Think about, you take away fan theories, rumors that are not confirmed, and that's the thing that we have to keep remembering is that, everybody's going crazy like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. We see them, blah, blah, blah. Did you really see them? No. Are they in it? We don't know. Did they say they're in it? They didn't say anything. So where are these rumors coming from? WandaVision is a victim of that. A lot of popular fan theory shot up to the top and was talking about it. Oh, this villain, that villain, this is going to happen. This is, holy crap, blah, blah, blah. All this. Nobody confirmed that. You guys started making those up, and you guys were disappointed by the finale because it didn't include what you thought it was. But did that make the show a bad show? No, not at all. It was actually pretty fun and pretty clever at times. Was the only part I really didn't like was really the final battle. there should have been a better build up. Well, no, sorry. The build that they had going, some of this was going to be a real epic fight. They could have probably stretched this out to 15, 16 episodes if they really wanted to, and I would almost recommend they could have done something like that. They introduced new characters from the comics into the MCU. Agatha was one that they kept hidden. And I think they were able to keep that mystery hidden was because pretty much the fanfare said it was everybody else. Another thing that they finally introduced was, and this is crazy, is that they never once called Wanda in the films the Scarlet Witch. Never. And they were able to now introduce her and go, the Scarlet Witch is not that's not her per se. It's a mantle or a power of a witch that she has now become. You know, that's why so many people was like, she doesn't have her costume, and yeah, maybe it didn't fit into the movies, but yet they never once called her Scarlet Witch. And as a fan, when they did start to mention the idea of Scarlet Witch, you had to get excited. You just had to. You know, they broke down the why she did what she did. Pretty much, she was devastated over the loss of Vision, considering she had to basically see him die twice in a matter of seconds because of Thanos. She was heartbroken because it was revealed that they actually bought a property together in Westview, and they were going to find a way to start a family and stuff like that. So the dreams that she experienced with the talk with Vision is basically, she was so powerful that her powers formed to make Vision a back-to-life character. We seen Vision when he was outside of the Hex for a few minutes that he wasn't real. We were led to believe that she took the physical body of Vision and brought him back to life. But one episode made it clear that you can't bring the dead back. And that's very important to remember through all of this, is you can't bring the dead back. So we were thrown through a loophole. Well, how did she make Vision? Her powers made Vision. And once he left the Hex, he was strong enough to fight through it for that few minutes, but if she didn't expand the Hex, he would have certainly just evaporated because he was just a metamorphosis of her powers, basically. Very incredible. Same way with her kids. You know, and Agatha, as she was defeating Agatha, she explained that, you know, the Hex in her family's one. They're not going to survive without the other. And Wanda finally realized that she needed to control this and to open the Hex and make life go back to normal. Definitely after Agatha released certain people from their spells, and they were pleading with her like, this is not right. Everybody loses loved ones, but you can't keep us like this. Some of them have children that they never seen because I guess her spells only worked on certain people, or she only needed certain people. They made it into a sitcom. She wanted a sitcom because that's how she coped with her pain when she was a child. If you remember, when they introduced Wanda and Quicksilver, and now I'll get to Quicksilver in a minute. When they introduced those two, we seen them being the only two to be experimented on with Loki's receptor, and they passed it. This series, at least with Wanda, introduced the fact that maybe it was her powers that helped her survive the experiment. In the Minds, I believe it was the Mind Stone, just enhanced her powers. It didn't give her powers, it enhanced it. It's like, you know, a baseball player being really good at baseball, but needing steroids just to go from here to there. That's how that all worked out. The only mess that they kind of did create, and let's talk about Quicksilver as a whole. When they brought Evan Peters in, people were like, oh, here's the X-Men crossover. You know, they didn't bring the Quicksilver Aaron Taylor Johnson. They brought Evan Peters. No, you guys assembled that. All Quicksilver in this show was a guy named Ralph, who apparently is an actor. And Agatha gave him a necklace that would give him powers like Quicksilver. He was just acting. There was no X-Men crossover at that point. Not saying there won't be. Because they did put themselves in a jam with the idea of Quicksilver. Okay, if you're saying Wanda was born a witch, then what was Quicksilver? What was Pietro? I do feel like they will eventually get the X-Men in there and maybe say, hey, Magneto was over on this side of the planet. His kids were here. They were adopted. Those weren't even Wanda's real parents. Who knows? Or X-Men could be a non-current timeline film. Who knows? There was even rumors that Doctor Strange was going to make a cameo in this. And once again, no. That's why there are rumors. You take away the rumors of this series, because, you know, you're going to get all these rumors that made the show like this, and when you watch the review, you're like, this is disappointing. The show really wasn't. The show was creative. The show had a good emotional attachment to it as the build-up. We got to see some character development. They introduced White Vision, which is the physical body of Vision reprogrammed. And the old Vision was able to basically open the data banks to say, the new system didn't experience this, but these are the systems of memories and stuff of Vision. So that was a good touch. Though he doesn't have the Mind Stone, he's still powerful and can do a lot of things Vision can do. In the end, I think this series, I want to give it an 8 out of 10. I really do. I think they did as much as they could. The reason why it's not probably a 10 is because they did leave the Quicksilver issues up there. They didn't go into details about Sword enough for the general public. You know, if you read the comics, okay, you know it. But they didn't really... Sword was like a good, bad company. Why did they get Vision? How did they get Vision? They didn't answer stuff like that. And I get it. They wanted to focus on Wanda. I mean, it is called WandaVision. The ending with Wanda finally having her Scarlet Witch outfit was a great touch. Even the ending with the fact that her kids could be alive somewhere else while she's trying to learn to control these powers was a good touch. I just think they could have done more with the idea of Sword and Quicksilver. And, you know, some of them just basically gave us more questions rather than answers. And I'm not a big fan of it. If you're going to wrap this up now, I think the director of the show did say that Wanda story is going to continue into Doctor Strange 2, which makes sense because, like I said, they're going more towards the magic. We actually even seen this with Spider-Man because it was fake magic, but nevertheless, it was a magic in a degree, a magician pulling off stunts to make him seem like he was more than what he was. But overall, 8 out of 10. I'm giving it an 80%. Be patient. If you haven't watched this series yet and you're at this point now, my goal to you is to be patient with the episodes. There are 9 of them. Nothing's going to be revealed in the first 2 or 3. And you got to realize that. Take away the rumors. Take away the fan theories. And look at the show for what it's worth. And you're going to be perfectly loving it the way it is. So many cameos that they said was going to happen never did. Once again, the Disney, Marvel, They never confirm any of this. And that's the one thing we have to remember, especially if you're trying to judge the show on its merits. Rumors are rumors. Just watch the show. Just enjoy it. Let it introduce more characters. Agatha, she was a mentor, and we know she's not dead. We know Wanda put a spell on her where she's trapped in a house, and if she needs to go back to her, she can. Pretty cool. But that is still, it's an 8 out of 10 show. Just take away the fan theories and rumors and enjoy the show each episode. Be patient. Let the story play out. If you're averaging a show between 35 minutes, no commercial type of deal, you're going to, they got to stretch it out. So don't give up on the series in the first couple episodes. 8 out of 10. I give it a must watch and another hit for Marvel. I'm digging the idea of certain things being a more of a show storytelling, so you can fit more details in, and then have them go over to a movie. Works for me. Wanda probably will never get a Scarlet Witch solo movie. Black Widow stories could have been told out in the same way, but I think they just cave for the fans. But until next time,